Hello, Shenandoah. My name is Jon Dorflinger. I currently hold my initial teaching certification for 7 through 12 English Language Arts, and I'm applying to be your next high school English teacher. Since I graduated from St. Michael's College in 2000 with a bachelor's degree in journalism and communications, I've had many rich life experiences. I lived in Thailand and worked as a freelance videographer, photographer, and media consultant for almost a year. I lived in Los Angeles and worked in the Hollywood film industry for over 6 years. I then went on to earn my master's in teaching from the University of Southern California and taught at a Title I charter school in South Central Los Angeles. Eventually, we moved home where I became an entrepreneur and began the Saratoga Film Academy. And I currently work full-time at Ballston Spa High School as the media arts teacher in the English department through Proctor's School of Performing Arts. As I reflect on my effectiveness as a teacher, I have to take into consideration all of my life experiences and how they have influenced and shaped who I am as a person and as a teacher. I've developed several practical skill sets that I can bring into the classroom. But through my teaching experience, I've come to realize that what the qualities that make me an effective teacher are not necessarily my skills, but my character. Empathy, patience, the passion to inspire and fascinate students, and perseverance are the qualities that make me the most effective. Every class I have ever taught has had a very different feel and vibe because of the individual students that make up that class. My empathy enables me to maintain the perspective that every student is different. Every student learns differently. Every student socializes differently. Every student has different needs and interests and desires. Some students need a lot of attention while other students don't want any attention at all. My empathy helps me to embrace the differences within my students. Today, when I step into my classroom, it is essential for me to get to know my students so I begin to see the person beyond the student. I develop relationships of mutual respect and trust. I take interest in their lives and their interest, and I express that I care about their learning by helping them personally connect to the academic content. At the same time, students will test you. Sometimes they may be resistant to working hard. They may refuse to do their homework. They may not be willing to participate in class or stay focused on a lesson. In more severe cases, they may challenge your authority. My patience has enabled me to strategize rationally on how to approach these challenges and also to understand not to give up on kids. I have developed an understanding that every person learns and retains information differently and at different paces. In my experience as a teacher, the greatest resistance to learning has occurred when the academic content has not been made accessible to the learner. Patience has become key to not take things personally, to not react emotionally, but to take a new perspective on my own approach and to adjust my lessons and materials appropriately. As an artist, I have been passionate about writing and producing movies almost my entire life. When I break it down as to why I'm passionate about making movies, it comes down to my desire to inspire and fascinate an audience. In recent years, I discovered my passion for teaching parallels my passion for making movies. I become invigorated when students engage in my lessons, ask questions, and put my teachings into practice. I want my lessons to intrigue their curiosities and lead them to think critically about the content. I strive to teach in ways that I would enjoy to learn the content myself. My perseverance has enabled me to overcome the many challenges within this profession. I believe in my ability to connect with students. I believe in my ability to stay flexible and adjust as needed. I believe in my ability to create intriguing and challenging lessons. Because of my perseverance, I will not give up on my students. I will continue to push myself to succeed at getting my students to achieve measurable growth. Engaging students in reading has a lot to do with helping students connect to the reading itself. Maybe it's providing historical context, exploring universal themes, analyzing character arcs, or using the text as inspiration for the students to create something on their own. Engaging students in writing should be an everyday occurrence. To develop writing skills, students should be exercising their ability to write consistently, creating fun activities such as daily writing prompts, interactive journals, creative writing assignments in addition to the required papers is a great way to encourage students to develop confidence in their own ability to write. At Ballston Spa High School, I create project-based learning opportunities for every unit within the 9th grade English curriculum. For our Romeo and Juliet unit, students had to choose one scene from the play and adapt it into a screenplay. They had to change the dialogue into modern English and make Romeo and Juliet students at Ballston Spa High School. Then they had to go and produce the short film. This assignment required students to do a close reading of the scene to decide what the essence of that scene was and how they were going to modernize it within their setting at Ballston Spa. Not only does this help them develop a deeper understanding of the text, it also gives them the opportunity to exercise their writing abilities using words, but also video and audio as well. When students leave my classroom, I think it is essential for students to have developed the ability to be independent, critical thinkers who are able to express themselves with specific details, ideas, and evidence that support and/or clearly explain their own opinions and creative expressions through writings. For the past several years, I have been teaching students how to communicate using cameras and editing software. I take them through the process of writing a screenplay, visualizing their stories into storyboards and shot lists, producing their short films using cameras, lights, and microphones, and then editing and assembling their projects using professional editing software. The Romeo and Juliet project I mentioned earlier is a great example of how I use technology to allow students to connect to the academic content. What I have been teaching is quite uncommon in most public high schools, so many of the technologies may not apply, but I am accustomed to using many of the online technology tools that are used by teachers on a daily basis. To name a few, I have created Google Forms for students to do self-assessments and also to assess the performance of their peers when they have completed a group project. In the past, I have used a program called Animoto.com for my poetry unit, where students had to create a visual representation of the poems they wrote. I've also used Google Docs for students to do peer-to-peer editing and revisions and leave comments for each other. I have had students create presentations through Prezi, if you go to Prezi.com. I've had students go to bighugelabs.com and create digital movie posters based on a title of a book that we are about to start reading. The use of technology was a huge component to my graduate school training at USC and a mandated requirement at my first job at the charter school in South Central. I'm extremely comfortable utilizing technology in the classroom. I'm always looking for new and innovative ways to utilize technology to engage students. I believe the next generation of effective technologies will be AR, augmented reality, where students will be able to have interactive lessons while on their cell phones in class. Shenandoah, thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to come and work there, possibly as the next English teacher. I look forward to meeting you and talking to you more about the possibility. Talk to you soon.